of a verb phrase. Now that we are done with the different types of phrases, let us now move on to clauses. Don't forget to take down some important notes, okay? Let's just start with differentiating a phrase and a clause. Like what I said, phrase does not have a meaning. Also, it does not contain a subject and a verb. While clause, it is a group of related words that has both subject and a predicate. We have two major types of clauses: main clause or independent clause and subordinate clause or dependent clause. So like what I said, clause, it is a group of related words that has both subject and the predicate. Now, alright, so let's begin with main clause or also known as independent clause. So main clause must contain a subject and a verb and can stand by itself as a complete sentence. So they have a subject. They tell the reader what the sentence is about. They have an action or predicate. They tell the reader what the subject is doing. And lastly, they express a complete thought. Something happened or was said. So it means main clause, it is a complete sentence. It has a meaning or it is a complete thought. So let's take a look at these examples. First example, he ran. Notice that while this sentence only contains two words, it is still a complete sentence because it contains a one-word subject, which is he, and a one-word predicate, which is run. That is also a complete thought. So this is an example of main clause. Second example, Mom took the car to get fixed. So in this example, we have the subject mom and we have the verb took. So mom took the car to get fixed. It is a complete thought. So it means this is an example of main clause. Third example, Gabriel is playing with his toys in his room. The subject in this example is Gabriel, and we have a verb phrase is playing. Now, the sentence expresses a complete thought, so it means this is an example of main. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. We have number 4. Meredith fixed the leaky faucet all by herself. So, where do you think is the subject and verb here? Very good. Meredith is our subject. Fixed is our verb. So if you will read the whole sentence, Meredith fixed the leaky faucet all by herself, it is a complete sentence. So it means this is an example of main clause. It has a subject, verb, and it is a complete sentence. For the last example, before Natasha takes her driving test, she needs to practice more. Now, where do you think is the main clause here? Very good. She needs to practice more. We have she, which is the subject, needs, which is our verb. Then if you will read, she needs to practice more, it is a complete thought. So it means she needs to practice more is an example of main clause. Now, are we clear with main clause? Now let's have subordinate clause. So subordinate clause has a subject and a verb, but it is only part of a sentence. It does not express a complete thought. So a subordinate clause is a dependent clause because it depends on the rest of the sentence for its meaning. So let's differentiate subordinate clause and main clause. So subordinate clause, it is just part of a sentence and it does not express a complete thought. While main clause, it can be a whole sentence and it expresses a complete thought. Now, a subordinate clause is easy to find in a sentence because it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction. Take note that subordinate clause can be sometimes in the first or last part of a sentence. Let's look at these examples. Now let's have here some examples of subordinate clause. First, because I forgot my homework, I got sent home. Like what I said, subordinate clause is just part of a sentence. Now, where do you think is the subordinate clause here? Very good. So, because I forgot my homework is our subordinate clause. Now, where do you think is the subordinating conjunction? Because. Very good. So, it's easy to find the subordinate clause because of the subordinating conjunction. Second example, since it will rain today, I will not go out. In this example, we have the subordinate clause, since it will rain today. So as you can see, we also have here a subordinating conjunction, which is since. Third example, we have if you pass the test, I will give you a reward. Where do you think is the subordinating or subordinate clause here? If you pass the test. Where's the conjunction or where's the subordinating conjunction? If. It's easy, right? Okay, let's have two more examples. Fourth example, we can all go for ice cream if I can find my wallet. The subordinate clause here is if I can find my wallet. We have here a subordinating conjunction, if. And we also have here the subject I, and we have here the verb phrase can find. For fifth example, even though it rained during our vacation, we still had a good time. Now, the subordinating or the subordinate clause here is even though it rained during our vacation. We have here subordinating conjunction even though. So please take note that main clause, it expresses a complete thought, while subordinate clause, it is just part of a sentence and it does not express a complete thought. Are we clear with main clause and subordinate clause?